Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. And a rather sinister tale we have to read on this evening. It's one that I have heard before. It's one that I have looked at before in different guises. This is the story that Tom Bower broke on GB News last night, and he said that Harry told a friend of his when he was back in London recently that Meghan is in touch with Diana, in other words, from beyond the grave. And Diana is assuring Harry that what they are doing is right. Now that I happened to watch the interview when he said that, and I thought, oh my word, that is so bad. And now we of course have heard the story before. We have heard about a rumor, a bit of gossip, a bit of tea from an employee at the Carlisle Hotel in New York who told the tale allegedly when Harry and Meghan were staying there during their full royal tour of New York all those years ago, when she wore that terrible red dress and when they were booted out of the UN and she looked like she was on the brink of tears. But anyway, I think it was then, could have been some other time, but I think it was then that this hotel employee said that they had got a psychic in. They had hired a psychic, come to give a reading, and Meghan had very dramatically said, oh, I feel her, and cried and done whatever she'd done. I can't remember the exact details of it. So we've heard about that. I have read on that, and it did look, as far as I can remember, I haven't gone back and looked at the reading. It's there in the Old Royals playlist. I don't want to go back and look at old readings because I want to come to these readings as fresh as possible. But it's in my mind that there did seem to be some indication that the story was true, according to my cards, according to the energy that came through in the cards. Then, of course, there is the speculation that Doria might be involved in this somehow, and might be employing some sort of occult practices, some secret practices, shall we call them, to do this, or drugs, or something like that. I have read way back in the past on that as well, and as far as I can recall, it was a long time ago, very early days of this channel, I got quite disturbing vibe in that reading as well. So, tricky territory, but it's interesting that someone like Tom Bower is now coming out very directly and saying this is what Harry said to a friend very recently. This is what Harry believes. He believes that Meghan does speak to the dead. It does speak to his mother and gets guidance from Diana, and that Diana assures them that they are on the right path, the way they are behaving, all the things that they are doing. I assume that means the media crusade, the book, the hostility, the separation from the royal family, all of that guided by, allegedly by Diana through Meghan. And we know that Meghan went to visit Diana's grave and sort of spent quiet time there and made a connection. I didn't watch the docuseries, but apparently it was on that for Netflix. So that's the backstory to this reading. It's a reading that rather creeps me out, not because I don't believe you can speak to the dead. I absolutely do believe you can. And one of the ways you can is through tarot, just by the way. But to use it to control someone, as seems to be the case, very unpleasant and dark. And so, having said that, let us shuffle the cards. We've got the Guardian of the Night tarot on the tarot table. I thought we needed the Guardian of the Night for this because we are dealing with dark things, are we not? And manipulative kind of energy, trickster energy. And so I'm going to do one of my own spreads. I've put the questions out. Universe knows what I'm asking. We're going to look at it first from Harry's point of view. We're going to ask, how desperate is he? How gullible is he? How much does he want to talk to his mother? Does he want guidance from his mother? And then how much does he believe this? Does he honestly believe that he is doing what his mother wants him to do, that he's acting out her wishes from beyond the grave? Then we're going to look at Meghan and ask if Meghan actually does this. However she does it, does she do this? Does she claim that she's communicating with the dead? How much influence does she have over Harry? What is her motivation? That kind of thing. What power does she hold over Harry with this alleged communication? And then we're going to look at Doria as well, because I think she could be part of this. It's just my idea, it's my speculation. We're going to ask if Doria is involved in this at all, and whether any rather occult practices are employed in any of this. You could say dark arts. I don't mean the most sinister practices at all, but just occult practices. Are they involved at all in this to persuade Harry that honestly the guidance is coming, that whatever Meghan says is actually coming from Mummy Diana? It's terrifying. If you were a member of the royal family and you knew this was going on with Harry, who's not the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree at the best of times, my goodness, how worrying, how disturbing, how distressing to know that this is going on allegedly. We have to put a big allegedly there, even though Tom Bauer seems pretty confident about this, quoted someone, a friend of Harry's, and this is recent information, so it's ongoing. If this is happening. So let's get the disclaimer out the way and remind you it's tarot for fun and entertainment. It's all my opinion, it's all speculation. I read energy here, archetypal energy, because we're dealing with archetypes with the royal family. And disclaimer in the box below. I haven't used these cards. Well, it feels like I haven't used them for a while. I have actually, but they feel a little bit cold. There we go. There we go. They're talking to me now. So it's because I was talking to you, they weren't talking to me. We're going to do one more long preamble. Sorry for that, for those of you who don't like the long preambles, but I like to give you a backstory. I like for you to know what's going on. I think it's important that we know what's going on with these kinds of stories, and it's important that we dig around and we look and see what's going on, because it's very disturbing if there is any truth to the story, and we're going to find out. We're going to see. These are rather large cards, so we're going to have to squish them along a bit. That's why I do a tarot, to see what's going on. That's the outcome card. And the outcome I want to know, is Harry ever going to see the light, to wake up to this and think, oh, hang on a minute. We got the Six of Pentacles. That's a quid pro quo card. It's not a sinister card. It's not a mysterious card at all. It's about give and take. It's about who's got what in a situation, who gives to what to a situation, who brings what to the table. And when I say table, I think of certain tables where you can communicate with the dead, allegedly. But it is about sharing the Six of Pentacles. So there is an idea here with this card as the underlying energy, that this is something they participate in, something they share. An interest that they share, a connection that they have with that. And if you bring this, if you talk to Mummy Diana, I'll give you that. There's a reciprocity in this card, in this energy. I'll put up with whatever you're doing. I'll forgive that, or we'll get together for these conversations. There is an idea here that's almost teamwork. That's not what Six of Pentacles normally is about, but there is this idea that it's something that somebody brings to a situation. And sometimes birds help animals with things like ticks and wounds and stuff like that. It's interesting, and birds are messengers from beyond the grave. So I think we have something here. We have somebody who's in trouble, who's got problems, and comes the messenger with this. And it's interesting that artwork, I think, is more telling than the actual card itself, if you know what I mean. So the situation that we're dealing with, please. What have we got? We got the Ten of Swords in reverse. This is ruin and calamity and destruction and devastation and endings. The Ten of Swords, betrayal and things, innocence lost here. It's a grisly version of the Ten of Swords with a little baby bird that has fallen out of the nest and died. And that shows vulnerability. Immense vulnerability. Somebody who hasn't ripened, matured, somebody who didn't really grow their own wings and learn to fly themselves, and choose their own path. Somebody who's very vulnerable, very innocent, very lost in that Ten of Swords. It's not normal Ten of Swords energy. This is bringing different information. It's why I use different tarot decks on this channel, because they do bring, these different decks do bring different energy, different ideas, different stories, different visuals for me that help to inform these readings. And that I think is very important, that we have baby bird that has been displaced from that nest and lost, because we're dealing with a lost soul, a vulnerable person, somebody who doesn't have the world experience, the intellectual abilities necessarily to figure out that he's maybe being conned, potentially being conned. So, a disturbing card, but also this path that they are on, that they have followed, allegedly at the behest of Diana from beyond the grave, has led to ruin. It's gone very badly for the Sussexes, extremely badly, and that is our Ten of Swords there. And how are they going to get out of this mess, or is this mess now so deep that they can't get out of it? So there is a whole lot that is packed into that card. Let's look at Harry now. How desperate is he for guidance, to talk to mummy? He doesn't seem able to do it himself. Talking to psychics, talking to Meghan. Queen of Wands is inspiration. She normally comes through as the Queen of Cups, which is what she was. She was a water sign, she was a Cancerian. But the Queen of Wands is much more powerful energy than that. And no disrespect to water signs, I am one myself. But in terms of charisma and it's wanting some of that sparkle to come across from her world to him. That shine that she had, the theatre and the drama. It's almost like he wants the theatre and the drama and the charisma to wear that mantle. He's always going on about he is Diana's true heir. Her true son William is not. And it's that lioness energy, that Queen of Wands, that she was very powerful. She was very charismatic. She was very popular. She was very theatrical and dramatic. And all of those things very beautiful. And wanting that. So I'm not getting vulnerable, lost. We've got vulnerable, lost over here, Ten of Swords. So universe doesn't need to repeat itself, unless I'm not getting the message through. But there is a crown over that lioness in this card. He wants that crown. He feels that she was robbed of her crown, and he should be the one who wears that crown. It's an imaginary crown. Please note, and this is going to California, going to out into the world, away from the British royal family, setting up a rival court in Montecito. It's all part of this plan, that he feels he is taking over his mother's legacy and going off into the world. She was kicked out, he feels, of the royal family, died as a result. This is Harry's thinking, it's not my thinking, but it's I'm going to take that crown that you didn't get, and I'm going to wear it, and I'm going to fulfill your legacy as a leader, a very charismatic and powerful leader. There's quite an interesting energy. I was not expecting that. I was expecting something more pathetic and lost and depressed, but we've got it already, as I have said already. So does he truly believe this? Does he believe he's been guided from beyond the grave via Meghan Markle to live out his mother's purpose? Yes, because it's the Ten of Pentacles, and that's the royal family, and it's in reverse. And it backs up what I've been saying with this Queen of Wands card. Ten of Pentacles is the royal family, is being in there for the long haul, through the generations, the legacy that's passed down, the security, the money, the castles, and all the art and all the pomp and circumstance and everything that goes with being a royal, the Ten of Pentacles. In reverse, it's almost as if being booted out, have to be a busy little bee somewhere else, take that back to the hive somewhere else, to another queen bee. The queen bee in Montecito, the little drones, the worker bees, busy there. So yeah, he feels like the command has come from the queen bee, and he's busy doing whatever queen bee tells him to do. So interesting this. And ten of Pentacles in reverse, apart from being kicked out of what's cozy and comfortable and known and secure and has been your life and your world through the generations, also a debt. And I get the sense that he feels that there is a debt that he owes, or that the royal family owes, or something that someone owes that he is now working off. Busy paying that debt off. Mother's crown that she never got to wear is somehow a debt. Whether he feels that he owes her, or whether he feels the royal family owes her, probably a bit of both. And we have reciprocity as our underlying energy. So all of these cards are going to be read as a bit of both. When there's a doubt about whose feelings I'm actually tapping into in this reading. Let's look at Meghan. Does Meghan actually do this? I think we're pretty confident she does. But just what image does the universe want to give us for that question? About this Page of Cups is communications, Page of Cups. And I get the sense, and oddly enough, I've gone into another tarot deck that I use quite a lot on this channel, the Urban Tarot, where there is a woman in a bath and she looks like she's in a trance. I don't know if you remember that card at all. I almost used that tarot deck for this reading, but then I thought, no, I need the Guardians of the Night. We're talking about darkness and mystery and beyond the grave kind of stuff. So, but Page of Cups is communications, emotional communications that could come through. She might do some sort of ceremony. I'm purely speculating based on the energy of the card. She might use oils that she burns, for instance, in a burner. That maybe transport her to another realm where she can communicate and bring back messages. Bringing back messages, Cups messages. Diana obviously was the Queen of Cups. So bringing back messages from somewhere else that are emotional support kind of messages, because it's Page of Cups. So yes, I do see this, and I see it. Interesting that we've got a bird there again, like we have here, a repetition of energy. I see it as something that she does with ritual, involving liquids, maybe, as I say, essential oils, that kind of thing. That she does this, she goes into ritual mode and she does this. That's how I understand this, that's how I'm interpreting this. Just have to remind you. How much power does she have over Harry? Does she use? Does she want? Whatever the universe wants to tell us about the actual consequences of this. We've got the Page of Swords in reverse. This is very sinister. The Page of Swords is not a pleasant card, particularly when it's in reverse, because it's mean, it's cruel, it's vicious. I think she uses it to clap back at people, and even Harry. And I say that with great heaviness. I have very little sympathy for him as a human being, but there isn't a sense there that she might say quite cruel things or pass on quite cruel sounding messages, allegedly, from Diana. You fool, you stupid, you whatever, you did this, you disappointed me, you let me down. It's controlling with cruelty. It's interesting because the messages come through with the Page of Cups, which is love, empathy, compassion, but Page of Swords, quite different, especially when it's in reverse. Mean, cruel, vicious, cutting. It can be cutting about other people as well as Harry, but I'm really getting that a lot of the influence and a lot of the power that she gains from this practice, assuming that it is a practice, and we are, for the purposes of this reading, going to assume that she does this, as Tom Bauer said, but I'm getting that it's really aimed at Harry, at controlling him through cruelty, putting him down, and horrible. I knew this was going to be horrible reading, but that's really a very heavy, very dark energy. So it brings us on to the third column of this reading, which is for Doria. And I want to know if Doria has anything to do with this situation at all. She participates, she encourages. What does she do? We've got the Ace of Pentacles. I think this is This is big stuff, the Ace of Pentacles. It's a hell yes energy, of course, first of all, because it's an ace upright, absolutely. She is an earth sign, she's a Virgo, but it's very powerful. It's very powerful. This is the path that we're on here. This is the new path. You follow this new path. These are the new practices that you do here in this household. You don't do your old practices, your old religious practices that Harry didn't seem particularly enchanted with anyway. So we follow other practices here in this household. Pretty occult practices. I'm the wise owl here. I'm the one that leads the rituals. I'm the one that knows. I'm the one that has the wisdom and the power, and you will follow me. That is the energy that's coming through that card. It's a big money card as well. Just have to put it out there. Big money. And my speculation that it could be beneficial to Doria at some level. This amount of power and influence. Anything occult going on here? I would say yes, according to that card. But I just want you to know, check in with universe. Are sort of darker practices being used here? The Emperor. I've got the same old wise owl there. And it's Emperor. It's, I would say yes. That's my opinion. And I have to absolutely, explicitly say that it is my opinion. And that this is tarot. For entertainment, and disclaimer in the box below, please. We've got a little white goat kind of a creature there, sacrifice. We've got a sword there. This is not normal emperor artwork. We've got someone who's absolutely in control. I had to take a break for a cough. I actually sprayed, I nearly said prayed. I prayed some Palo Santo before I started this reading, just to protect me. I don't often feel a need to do that on this channel. And generally with tarot, I am pretty well protected. I'm confident about that. Very confident about that. But I did spray some before this reading and had a little cough, just for those of you who are interested by things like that. But there we go. I would say yes. We're talking about our occult practices, sort of dark arts used here. I'm not talking about sacrificing things, but we have a little white goat there and a sword. I don't mean literally sacrifice, obviously, but it's sort of bells and smells. What's that film, old film, Bell, Book and Candle, that kind of thing, to make it look more impressive for Harry. But that's what I'm really getting at here, is a sort of window dressing to make it look more spooky and impressive. Yes, because the Emperor designs things, manages things, organizes things, and the Emperor is, her energy, it doesn't come through like this normally. It comes through, bam, very powerful. A very, very powerful cards here for Doria. Meghan is small fry in this, my opinion. Absolutely my opinion. Page of Cups. She's the messenger. She's the go-between, really. This is where the authority is. Emperor is authority. That's where the authority is. Wow. Is Harry going to wake up and see he's been manipulated? Eight of Wands. That's an unblocking. That does look as if there could be something swift that unpacks, that unfolds as a result of those talons losing their grip almost on him. We've got predators in here. We have got predators, and we've got an innocence here and an innocence there, and someone that's working really hard here in the Harry column to please mummy. Somebody who's cruel here, somebody who's very powerful and authoritative there. But Eight of Wands is news, is communication, is a burst of insight. I'm asking specifically, is he going to catch a clue about what's going on here? And it does look like it. And it could be that the story that's been put out by Tom Bauer has been put out very deliberately, so that it goes around. We know that the Parkles are obsessed with how they are represented in the press and on social media. And if Harry is going around and reading this, that a friend put this story out, it's just put out there blandly. This is what is happening. It's not, oh my God, like I'm oh my God in this reading. It's not interpreted, it's not questioned, it's just put out there. But the oh my God is coming in the comments. And if he's reading it, there is some degree of hope that he might actually get the message that has been sent out very, I think, directly and specifically. Whew, deep breath. That is your reading. Please, again, disclaimer in the box below. And yeah, I'm going to take a break and then get on with the next one.